The runes, they grow cold. The order I carved into the world has become an iron cage. My mind is a tomb of stone, freezing under the weight of 1,000 legislated tomorrows. I want you to picture this. You are an observer standing at the absolute edge of a dying world. You're watching an old god drag the immense, crushing weight of his own creation across cracked stone, suffocating under the despair of his very own rules.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are stepping into a genuinely grim-dark fable, The Awakening of Wut. We aren't just casually looking at a mythical narrative today. Oh no, we are dissecting a profound, visceral allegory about the petrifying grip of modern burnout and the explosive, fiery frenzy required to shatter it completely.
Act 1. The exhaustion of the All-Father on the ash-gray road. Now, what's incredibly fascinating here is how this story reframes a concept we literally all know too well: burnout. But we're not talking about just needing a nap after a long week of Zoom calls or staring at endless KPI trackers and HR modules. We are talking about the petrification of rigid laws. It's the sheer psychological agony of outrunning a destination while trapped in an iron cage of your very own making. It is the visceral condition of the soul slowly, painfully turning to stone. Imagine watching a landscape painted in a high-contrast, monochromatic inkwash. Jagged lines tear across a barren world under charcoal clouds. And down this cracked stone highway walks Wutan, the wanderer, leaning heavily on a massive, knotted wooden staff.
As we watch him approach, the sheer exhaustion is palpable. He wears this heavy, tattered woolen cloak. A wide-brimmed traveler's hat pulls deep, oppressive shadows over his face. You can see only one piercing, burning iris surrounded by deep, weathered wrinkles. It looks exactly like cracked granite. Veins pulse on his forehead with a faint, volatile energy. Every single jagged line, every sharp, fractured detail of this tired face screams of a mind crumbling under the dragging, heavy weight of holding up the sky.
Act 2. The Temptation of the Void. The monochromatic inkwash suddenly shatters, and a violent splash of deep sapphire blue bleeds into the frame. Introducing this sapphire jester. Through a frozen, flawless porcelain grin, the jester speaks with this razor-sharp, rhythmic mockery. Look at you, old king of masonry, leaning on your laws like a broken crutch. Aren't you tired of holding up the sky? Let it fall. Surrender your name to the quiet.
And this brilliantly illustrates a jarring psychological clash we all face at some point. On one side, the agonizing, crushing duty of consciousness and responsibility, Wotan twisting in exhausted despair beneath his stone crown. And on the other side, the chilling peace of non-being. The jester tilting his porcelain mask back in a silent laugh, offering a yawning, starless blue void of total surrender. It is the seductive urge to just quiet quit and fade entirely into the background.
Step into the blue, wanderer, the jester whispers to Wotan. And honestly, he's whispering to us too. Stop trying to become. Melt your heavy crown into ash. Notice those cold, glowing blue vines wrapping around Wotan's ankles? That is the ultimate narcotic. It's the beautifully seductive release of just giving up, of letting the cold numbness wash over you when you feel like you have absolutely nothing left in the tank.
Act 3. The Awakening of Wut. But Wotan? He will not fade into the quiet. Faced with the absolute death of his soul, the dormant spirit of creation inside the old god violently rebels.
Suddenly, a brilliant, blinding crimson white. Wotan's single eye flares open with intense, percussive energy.
Those glowing sapphire vines that were seductively wrapping his ankles, they violently shatter into jagged glass-like shards.
His heavy, tattered cloak blows aggressively backward. His chest heaves with an ancient, subterranean heat. His grip tightens so fiercely on his staff that the ancient wood literally begins to splinter and smoke. And right here, we witness the birth of the sacred frenzy. The quiet is completely obliterated. The visual energy explodes into a chaotic, aggressive, abstract style. Wotan is no longer a withered old man. He is a vortex of raw, unlegislated chaos. He is the overman integrated with divine frenzy, what the myth calls Wut. Swirling brushstrokes of blood red and blinding gold tear violently through that cold sapphire background, ripping the jester's blue ribbons to absolute shreds. He raises his splintered staff, his face a terrifying mask of primal rage and ecstatic liberation. Roaring into the void, I will not be stone. If my world must break, I will be the one who breaks it. From the ash of my old laws, I birth the storm. He is transforming his static dead stone into pure, unbridled potential.
Act 4. The Triumph of Becoming.
Wotan slams his splintered staff down onto the stone pedestal with world-shattering force. As observers, we can almost feel the impact sending massive shockwaves of fiery red and gold energy tearing outward through the structure. The sapphire jester is violently thrown backward. That pristine, mocking porcelain mask cracks right down the center, and through the fissure, nothing, only empty, hollow darkness. This awe-inspiring moment brilliantly contrasts the raw, fiery will to power against the incredibly fragile illusion of static control. The hollow archetype simply cannot withstand raw creative fire.
So, here is the absolutely crucial point of this whole explainer. The jester was never a god. He was only a parasite feeding on the weary. That seductive numbness, that overwhelming urge to just quit and fade away into the blue when we are burnt out, it's a hollow lie that preys entirely on our exhaustion.
The dancing star. The abyss has been crossed. Take a breath here, because the aggressive, chaotic, abstract strokes now give way to a balanced, deeply vibrant watercolor style.
Look at this breathtaking transformation. The oppressive gray storm clouds have been entirely burned away. The cold blue void is banished forever. Wotan stands amidst the smoking ruins of the pedestal. His chest still heaves, but his posture is proud, upright, completely unbroken, like a majestic eagle. The heavy hat is gone, exposing his face to a newly born, golden dawn, and he smiles, a sharp, dangerous, triumphant grin. He didn't just survive the fire, he became it.
Now, stepping back from the myth for a second, how does this translate directly to your reality? To survive your own professional or creative iron cage, you must follow these steps. First, acknowledge the stone. Really recognize your own petrifying burnout. Feel the heavy weight of the rigid laws you've imposed on your own life. Second, reject the blue void. When the jester whispers to you, offering the seductive temptation of numbness, of checking out, of simply giving up, refuse it. And third, birth the storm. Channel that sacred frenzy. Use that frustration, that raw, fiery what, to break your own rigid laws and forge a completely new path.
So, I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder as you stare into your own golden dawn. When your own iron cage grows cold, and the sheer weight of your own rules threatens to crush you, will you melt into the silent sapphire void, or will you use the ash of your old laws to birth the storm?